purpose of inviting students from Loughborough and Nottingham University is really to engage with the next generation of professionals in the textile industry. So what we understand is sometimes people go into fashion design and they go in with a very much an artistic bent, but how do you convert that art into something practical? How do you convert it into a finished fabric and finished textile? So what we're trying to do is educate them or help their education process by introducing them to the latest technology, which is digital printing technology. So, we have multiple digital printing technologies. So we have what we call traditional direct-to-fabric, roll-to-roll. So they use ink sets like acid, reactive, pigment and disperse, which are the traditional ink sets that are used in screen printing. But obviously they're redesigned to work in digital printing technology. So that's industrial high volume print, but then we also have sublimation printing, where you print polyester, which is very commonly used for sportswear. And in the sportswear market, you have a high requirement for customization, personalization. So that means that the digital technology, in terms of very short run, matches beautifully with the demand from the market. So that's been a real boom, the introduction of digital technology for the sportswear industry. And then finally, we have direct-to-garment and direct-to-film. So this is either printing or embellishing finished garments. And that technology, again, because of customization, because of personalization, that technology is also growing rapidly in the UK. Recent investments that we've made. So the first one I'd like to point out is in the industrial business. I mentioned that the ink sets were basically copied from the screen printing across to digital printing. And that was obviously to make it, less threatening to change technology for the established converters in the market. Now what we're looking to do is to take it one step further and utilize the power of inkjet to jet functional fluids that pre-treatment and post-treatment printed at the same time as printing the inks. And that way, especially with pigment printing to for instance, cotton fabric, that way we can reduce the process steps and actually further improve the environmental footprint of digital printing. And we launched a product called the Mona Lisa ML13000. That is the first printer to incorporate this multiple fluid technology. So basically take digital industrial printing to the next phase. That's on that side. Another innovation that Epson has come out with recently is our own direct-to-film printer. Now we've been printing direct garment, so t-shirt printers, for want of a better phrase, for many years. And we basically changed the firmware in our direct garment printer so that you can actually run film through it as well as garments. So we've tried to make it as flexible as possible, but we've also now launched our own direct to film printer with Epson's proprietary printing technology inside. So what we're doing is they're widening the offer for companies that want to have the very high quality and very high reliability for which we're renowned across multiple applications. Why invest time in the youth and in students? And there are multiple reasons. One is to give them an awareness of the technology, which helps them in their design work, but also obviously it helps us in the longer term because they're going to enter the industry, and if they have an understanding of the capability of the technology and what Epson as a brand can provide, then obviously that helps the industry as a whole, and it helps Epson as a brand. And so there's the point of understanding the technology and the design, and then there's really reinvigorating the reputation of print industry, because a lot of people have a very old-fashioned view of the print industry, thinking of it as dirty, thinking of it as related to screen printing effectively. Whereas actually with digital printing, it's quite modern, it's quite innovative. It actually has a huge future, because it may be that print to paper or print to film is declining, with visual technologies coming in and replacing. But actually, industrial print is growing massively. Now, whether that's in textile market, whether that's in furnishings, whether that's in, for instance, laminates. Laminates are all printed. So there are so many areas that students can look at and actually create a career from. And it's important for us as a company because we have a lot of people who come from the print industry 30 years ago, myself. And we're going to retire soon, and there needs to be a next generation coming through. So we are putting more investment of our time in encouraging students to consider the print industry overall. The print industry is exciting, it's interesting, it has a very good future. But I think, for trade associations who represent the whole industry, I think that there are very good reasons to look at it positively going into the future. Because I think that the requirement for decoration, the requirement for, functional colour, and in textile, I've talked about fashion, I've talked about sportswear. But you can look at a lot of the technical textiles that are created and wonder whether some of the technology involved in that can cross over into sportswear or into fashion. At the moment there's very little, but actually there's a huge amount of innovation on one side that can, with digital technology, can easily transfer. In the old days, more difficult with analog technology. And so I think there is a lot of innovation and a lot of advancement in the technology still to come. And that's what makes it interesting.